Hello then, welcome to another one. My name is Tatenda, back with another one. It's Game On Podcast, where we chat to legends and sevens of the cricket game. And it's so amazing that in a few seconds, we're going to head on to Zoom, where I had a chance to speak to Sthembile Langa, who is out in the Free State playing his first class cricket there. We want to hear about his challenges and everything that he went through. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. That way, that's how we find more people to come through and more relevance in the stuff that we're bringing to you online. So as you tell your friend and your friend and your friends about us, that's how we grow, and that's how you grow as well, because you're getting to know who these people are. These guys started off playing club cricket just like you, just like me, and because of hard work and determination, they ended up being the people that they are. So they are not superhumans for playing the game of cricket, because they have worked hard. So you can work hard and there's nothing stopping you. Anyway, without wasting more time, let's just push over and get on to that recording that we had over Zoom and find out what it is that makes him tick and what you can get from that video. Thank you so much. If you're here, liking, sharing, and subscribing is going to be good. Before we waste any more time, let's jump on.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people.
Hello, Matt, and welcome to the podcast. The podcast only deals with, let me not say only deals with, but we deal with sevens of the game. So from club cricketers, first class cricketers, anyone that is within the game of cricket. And as we chat, someone else is going to get relevance from what we're going to speak about, from your story and from your journey as well. So thank you so much for taking your time to be with us. I know you guys are extremely busy, but for you to take time to speak to us, it's amazing. Thank you.
No worries, my brother. Got you.
Awesome stuff. Anyway, the first question that anyone would ask, especially because Aya has been within the cricket circles, I am within the cricket circles, Harry as well, but then the other three guys are not in the cricket circles. So whenever we bring out a guest, they'll be like, who is that? And I always hate that question, but unfortunately, it's the start of any interview. And just to ask, who is Stay?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm Sthembile Langa. Come from the Eastern Cape. Was born in East London, Tanzania. That's where I was raised, born and bred. I'm currently a professional cricketer for the Knights. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome stuff. You were born in East London, that's border, hi. And you guys from border have got a rich history of cricketers. And not mentioning many names, but Makai and Tini, I think that's the one name that when someone hears of border, they think of Makai and Tini, or they think of Mark Boucher. At what point did it then dawn on you that, you know what, Stay, let's go the cricket route? And was it always a cricket, or was it because of these legends that sort of brought you into the space of wanting to play cricket?
Actually, it was about my older brother. It was about my older brother. I used to play actually all the sports that were there, because you know, when you're growing up as a kid in Kasi, you just want to play everything. So my brother used to play soccer, rugby, baseball, cricket. And another thing is that the cricket ground it's actually close to my home. So I used to follow him when he goes to the ground. And then this other day, I actually saw him practicing cricket with a cricket club around there where I grew up at. And then I was a ball boy when I started, just collecting balls around when the guys would play like the Premier League. And then my brother was also playing, but he was playing for the second team. So I fell in love with the game when I kept on going to the ground and actually seeing the stars playing for my club, like the likes of Makaya, Mondes Zundeki used to play there. There was also a keeper called Nelani. It was his surname, but I can't remember his name. So he was playing for Border Base at that time. Actually, the whole team of my club called Willows, they actually played for Border B, and other guys played for Border A. So for me, being around there, seeing the guys, I think that's when I fell in love with the game. It actually pushed me to be like, actually one day I want to be like Makaya, I want to be like Monde. But all that came from my brother. I think if my brother wasn't going to the ground, probably I wasn't going to set my foot.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Is yeah, true.
yeah.
Is it true that they say the little brother always becomes better than the older brother because of the abuse? So did you suffer any abuse from your brother? Obviously, if he's bowling to you, he's gonna bowl a little quicker. If he's batting, he's gonna hit you a little bit further, because there's always that competitive edge between big brother and little brother. But then someone can look at it as big brother banter, but at the same time, there is going to be tears because the younger one is always going to feel like they're being victimized. Was that the case with you and your bro?
Actually, that's true. That's true. You know, when you play backyard cricket, and they will always feel like they're better than you, they're older than you. So it was always a point where you want to prove yourself.
Yeah.
Uh, that's where it started, and then from there, that's when I met Aya, because it was close with Aya. And then we started playing background cricket at his place, at his house, Aya. And then that's where everything came from. Actually, even them, the older guys, Aya, and even my peers at that time were actually saying, "Hey, there's actually something about this guy. He's just special." So, and then they actually kept on pushing me, saying that, "Why don't you just try it out? Just give it a try." Because to be honest with you, when I was growing up, I was one of the guys that actually fell in love with rugby.
Yeah.
I wanted to play rugby, but then I ended up going to cricket because the guys that were around me at the time, and having Aya guys pushing me that I should try it out and see what happens. So that's how it came about.
Yeah, yeah. Here's a guy that wants to play rugby, yet everyone else is saying, why don't you go the cricket route? At what age were you that so much so that someone can look at you and go, there is something there? Because why I say so, a lot of times we look at a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, and they're bashing hundreds left, right, and center, they're bowling quick. But then when they get to 15, 16, you kind of feel like all the talent is gone, even though one was looking at that kind of kid and going, this kid is going to go far. How old were you when people started to realize that there was something in you that could make you play cricket at the highest level or turn cricket into a career?
I actually started getting praise at the age of 7.
Wow.
Because when I grew up, I actually have like, I've got 5 siblings, one sister, and then 4 brothers. So growing up around them, I was always with them. And I think that pushed me in a way that growing up around older people, it makes you mature quicker.
Yeah, it does.
So the way I was playing my game, it became more mature than my age.
Wow.
And then that's when the guy started praising me that, nah, man, this light is actually gone.
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah.
So when I was, excuse me, I think when I was 9 years, that's when I was playing Baker's cricket at that time. So there was a festival at Buffalo Park, one of the cricket grounds in East London.
Yeah.
So I went there with my school, a lot of kids around. So you know how the setup is most when you play that festival of Baker's cricket, but now it's called
yeah.
yeah, now
It's
it's called
KFC now.
Mini Cricket.
Yeah.
So I was playing, and then the scouts of border members were around, coaches. And so I was bowling to this guy, and then I hit him on his face, and we were using one of the tennis ball, the red ones. I think it was Bass, but
those slash balls.
yeah, and it was a bit hard. So I hit him on his face. I think nose. I got him on his nose, and then started bleeding.
Nah.
And then people were like, "There's no way a little boy at this age can hit another little boy with the ball."
Impossible. Yeah, yeah.
And then people started coming to me. I remember it was Justin Price. He used to be a member at Border Cricket, coach. Greg Hayes, Raymond Boy was there that time. But I was saw by Raymond Boy. He's the one that saw me that day, and then he actually called Greg. I think Greg was one of the guys that were big around at that time, and Justin Price.
Yeah.
So I got invited to border trials. It was under 11 at that time, provincial. At that age, I think I was 9. I was 9 the following year when I got invited. 9, 10 years, and then I made the side.
Wow.
That's when things started. So from there, that's when I believed that actually I can play this game.
Wow. Wow.
So the funny thing about this, people now today see me as a frontline seamer. But when I started at that age, I started as a batsman.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I started as a batsman at that time. But then as I grew up, then I changed.
I see.
So all this, yeah.
I see. Amazing story. So this is a 9-year-old that goes to border under 11s. He makes border. What is the family saying? What is mom and dad saying, hearing that my kid is playing with older boys?
It actually, it's actually funny because during those times when I was young, 7, 8, 9 at that age, Aya used to come to my house and look for me.
Okay.
So that was the period when I didn't want to play cricket.
Wow.
So when he comes to my house, I would say to my mom, tell this guy I'm not home.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was a nuisance to you.
Yeah. So my mom would be like, okay, sure, don't worry. Go lock yourself in the room.
Yeah.
And then I would listen. When he comes in, my mom will be like, are you good? Yeah, sure. Do you know what he said? He said, I must say he's not home.
So
mom is in the room.
So mom is selling you down the river now.
Yeah. And then now when I was going with Aya to the ground, so it would take the whole day. Let's say during holidays, June holidays, it would actually take the whole day. And then my mom started getting a bit shaky about it, like, why would my son go the whole day since morning? He's young. Sorry, man, he's young. And he's at the ground the whole day. Where does he eat and all that? So she was worried about that. And then she got to a point where she was like, nah, you're not getting my son anymore. She was too overprotective.
Yeah.
She was like, nah, I'm not getting my son anymore because you always bring him back home late.
Yeah.
So I tried to explain and show him what he sees in me, but my mom was like, nah.
Never.
No, like, okay,
never.
I will. So, and then while I was sitting at home, so there was a time where I didn't go to practice, and then I felt like, nah, man, it doesn't feel good because now I got used to waking up, going to the ground, and now sitting at home doing nothing. It gets boring.
Yeah.
So I started sneaking out the house.
Okay.
And then I'll come back late. And when I come back late, I know I'm going to get a hiding.
Obviously, yes.
So I got a hiding. And then when things shoot, when I make the breakthrough in the border under 11 provincial team, actually, at that time, my mom cried. It was my first time seeing my mom crying.
Tears of joy, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, it was because she even said, obviously, as a parent, you got to look after your child because you don't know what's happening out there.
Yeah.
Your child leaving home in the morning,
Yeah.
comes back evening.
Comes back later. Yeah.
Now it makes sense why Aya, you were always there for him. The
Wow.
hours that he spent down,
Wow.
it's actually paying off.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. So later after that, when I played provincial, that's when I got a scholarship bursary at one of the schools around East London called
Yeah.
Hudson Park.
I see. So
Yeah.
you get a scholarship to a cricketing school because this is a cricketing scholarship, so to say. What was the situation at home? Was mom and dad able to still afford you that kind of schooling, or it came to you as that's actually a breakthrough with regards to going to a better school than your peers or your mates in the hood?
My parents couldn't afford to actually take me there. So for them, it was something big, like a big breakthrough for me to actually go to one of the best schools
Best
around.
schools.
Yeah, so they were actually happy when I got the offer and everything was paid off.
Yeah, that's
So like,
amazing.
why not?
That's
Yeah, I was
amazing.
like, why not? Let me actually take it. So they were so happy, and
Wow.
I left. I went there.
So now let's take me through. Here is a boy from Dansani, walks into a prestigious school. Facilities are great. It's a cricketing school. It's a cricketing scholarship. You're coming from sort of like a less advantageous background. What is that doing to this youngster that is walking in? Because not everyone there has got a scholarship. Everyone else, maybe their parents can afford it. They're rich kids and whatnot. What's that doing to you mentally? Because there is this thing of if you grew up Ekasi, walking into a private school, you kind of feel intimidated because the lifestyle is different. That's not what you're used to. There's a little bit of money here and there. The facilities are better. And where were you mentally as a youngster walking into such an environment?
I won't lie to you, I'll be honest. I was intimidated. It felt different. It felt like I'm in a different world. Seeing the big buildings around you, asking yourself, is this really a school?
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I got there, I couldn't say a word of English, to be honest.
Cheers.
I couldn't say a word, but one thing that pushed me was my dad. My late dad actually said, this is an opportunity for you to actually change your life. I never had money to actually take you to one of those schools, and you got the opportunity for free. And I said to him at that time, but Dad, I can't speak English and I won't feel comfortable there. But since you spoke to me, let me give it a try and see.
Wow.
But it was tough.
I can imagine.
The first few years it was tough. I remember there was a time I came back from school. I went to my room at the hostel. I just cried the whole day. I was under my blankets. I was like, nah, this is not for me. I can't live like this. I can't be speaking English 24/7. This is not me. I called my parents and said, over the weekend when I come back home, I'm not coming back to the school.
Jeez. But then was it your schoolmates that were nasty to you, or was the environment hostile to you, or was it just a matter of you're uncomfortable continuing to speak? You know, there's this whole thing. Someone once posted on TikTok or something that said they're practicing a phone call to order a pizza. So they say, hello, my name is Tatenda and I would like to order a pizza. Then when they finally make the phone call, they're like, hello, my name is Pizza. I would like to order a Tatenda kind of vibes. You understand? So was it that issue where you're so scared of meeting your next teammate, or you're so scared of taking a wicket or getting 100? Because when the guy walks into the middle, they're going to say, what's happening? How am I going to say it? Was that the issue with your speaking English, or overall the environment was not welcoming you? The kids were nasty, or there was bullying involved, or there was any bad stuff that was happening, you know, with school, bullying and all that?
To be honest, it's actually a great school. And I never experienced that. And I think when I found out that I was actually the first Black person to actually get a scholarship in that school,
Wow.
so everyone knew who I was.
Wow.
And I think that's where I got the respect. And probably, yeah, there were people that were talking bad about me, but they never showed it. They never came to me. All the people that came to me, they actually treated me in a good way. I never experienced such things as bullyism. I felt intimidated and all that. Nah. I think it was just about how am I going to survive in this school if I can't speak English? Because it's an English school.
Because the only
So
the
that was
only
the
way to
problem.
survive is to speak English, and I feel like I
English.
can't do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
So that's how I felt. I was like, nah, I don't belong here.
Wow. Then what did you do to sort of adjust? So you say to your mom, I'm coming back this weekend and I'm not going back to that school. What was mom's response, and where was Aya at this point in time? Did he still play a role in your life, or in your sort of your start to sort of get you that level ground back into that school? Because no parent is ever going to allow you to say, I'm not going back there, unless maybe you're saying they're bullying me or something that's life-threatening. But if it's the English language, I don't think any parent is going to say, oh, yeah, I'm done, I'm all right. You don't go back there. What was mom's response when you said, Mom, Aya, and the grand and something in the next?
She actually asked the question, what's the problem? Are they bullying you? What's going on? I was like, nah. It's just that I can't keep up with them. They speaking English, even the Blacks. It's English 24/7 here. I just can't keep up. This is not me. I'm not comfortable. And she was like, Danam, Begazela. I'm like, Mama, you don't hear me.
You're not understanding me. Yeah.
When are you sitting at home? I'm here.
When I did this course, and I mean,
I'm here.
Yeah.
This is basically.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay, come back home. And then I went back home. So what they did, it was her, my dad, and my older sister. They took me back.
And you did not
I
want
was
to
so,
go back.
And I was very close with my older sister. Still now, I'm still very close with her. So she used to work around Hudson. She was working in one of the companies around there. So she was close to me. So she said to me, if ever something happens, just give me a ring. I'll come to the school.
Okay.
And then at break times, she would take a walk and come and check up with me.
I see.
Then I think that's actually what made me to actually stay at the school, because at least my sister will come and then I'll be able to speak closer
and for that hour, for that 20 minutes, whatever the case may be. Yeah.
But then when she leaves, it goes back to square one.
How did that affect your game now?
It never affected my game, because I was doing what I love. Because I felt like every time when I'm at the ground, that's where I want to be. I don't want to be in class. I don't want to be around my other peers like at school. I don't want to be around them. This is where I want to be, at the cricket.
Yeah.
At the cricket, I never worried about me speaking English to my teammates and all that. The only thing I worried about is bowling that ball and hitting that ball and be happy. That's all.
That's it.
Yeah.
Amazing that you're saying you never let it affect you, because it comes back again to, if I'm not in class, then I have to perform outside. So you found your way to sort of get a balance through. But now at the same time, you were on a cricket scholarship, so your academics had to be balanced. How did you then balance the two? Yes, you want to be outside in the ground, but there's always going to be time that you need to be in class and do assignments and whatnot. How did you keep that balance, seeing that you were in boarding school?
I think there were, trying to remember, there were extra classes, like extramurals. There was also a thing called Kumon. So I used to attend those, and there was a teacher that took me there. It was Mr. Fanzel, and I can't remember the second one, but it was an autopy though. So they introduced me. They said, "This is going to help you to actually go there, get extra lessons, especially English, read more books, newspapers, magazines, and all that." So that helped me with the language. And then in the class, I was always put around the A students.
Okay.
So now imagine being around A students, and you gotta make a plan. You gotta make sure that when they say this is your homework, you gotta do it, because you don't want to feel embarrassed around them.
Yeah.
So I think being around the A students and also attending extra classes, that's what helped me in terms of academics, even though it was hard, but then I managed to pull through. And then I remember when I got to grade 7, I met a teacher called Mrs. Raymond. Very, very nice teacher. She always looked after me, and she always kept believing in me that one day, I'm telling you, this language, you're going to be able to speak it. All you need to do is give it time and tell yourself.
Just beggars.
Yeah,
yeah. But then it makes sense as well, because you were given a scholarship when you were still in primary school, so you were a youngster. So it made sense that you always felt that kind of intimidation, and you don't want to do this because you're a kid, you're mama's boy at that point in time. And getting to grade 7, you were, so at what grade did you get the scholarship? Grade 5?
Yeah, grade 5 towards grade 6, grade 5. Yeah, it was grade 5.
Yeah. Then high school, then what happened with high school? And that's the time. So primary school is when you were playing under 11 border, going to under 13 border. Then high school, where was Stay now?
I messed up because I became a naughty boy because I got used to school. I could speak English, and then I messed up at the school, and I got suspended. So when I got suspended, so my mom wasn't happy about what happened, because I had a fight at school with one of the white guy, and then his parents were in the SGB board, so it was just hectic.
So they had more say than your parents would ever.
Yeah, like I don't really like talking about it, but it was just hectic. And then I got suspended, and my mom wasn't happy about it. And then she was like, and when I got suspended, it was, I think, around November, going towards the finals for grade 7.
Yeah.
So I never finished my grade 7 there. So when I got suspended for the 2 weeks, it was close to finals, and then I went back to Kasi. So that's where I finished my primary grade 7, one of the schools around there at home. And then after that, the guys at high school, they still offered me and said, "We want you to come back." Because my mom never wanted me to go back to that school after what happened.
Yeah.
She felt like they were unfair. So the high school were like, what happened at primary, there's nothing to do with us.
Wow. They still wanted your services.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, my mom, it was all about my mom at that time, because I was under their guidance.
Makes sense, yeah.
And then it was like, no, you're not going there. You staying here.
Okay.
So like, okay. So while I'm sitting doing my grade 7, I passed my grade 7, then sitting at home, and then I got a call from Dale College.
Wow.
offering me a scholarship.
Wow.
I also
Another
got
big
a
school.
call from Selborne College, and then I was like, nah, no, I'm not going to Selborne. I'd rather go to
Dale.
Dale.
Yeah.
And when I heard about Dale, Dale was one of the biggest schools in cricket at that time, and like Makaya, Makaya's
Yeah.
coming from there, Mondes
Yeah.
is coming
Monday.
from
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
more coming from there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it was like, let me actually go there.
Wow. Amazing. So take
So,
me through. So he gets a scholarship. Yes, he messes up. Everyone does that. Yes. But then that did not derail you from what you wanted to achieve. So he goes on, you go on to play border under 19 and deciding rather when am I going to take this as a professional sport? At what grade were you, or what age level were you that you decided, I think I can take pro with this and keep on with my cricket?
I think I was in grade 11. I was in grade 11. I was invited, actually got a call up to Warriors Academy. I was still in grade 11. They went on cricket week. It was in Poch.
Okay.
So when I got there, I saw the likes of Andrich Notki was there playing for Warriors at that time, Academy. Eddie Moore currently just played got a call up to Proteas now, playing for Western Province.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those guys were there at that time, and I asked myself, do I really deserve to be here? What's going on here? Why am I here? And I'm still at school at that time.
Okay.
So I think that's where everything was like, I think I should take this game serious if I'm still at school and I can be here. So I think that's where I took the decision.
Yeah.
From there,
How
I
is
need to give it a go now.
How has been that decision so far? And when did you then decided I'm gonna go tonight? And how is life in Bloemfontein treating you?
Actually, after taking that decision, I went to one of the Black Africans Academy in Fort Alice. That's where everything started, because that's where I met Funekongam, who worked with me, and Ile currently the SNC for the Lions.
Yeah.
So they had influence. So after that, that's where I made a break through to border. And then from there, that's where things started going well for myself. I played one season for border, and then I got a call up to Warriors, got a franchise contract. And then from there, I lost my contract. I played for EP. Then after playing for EP for 1 or 2 seasons, that's when the structure changed. So that's where I moved to Limpopo.
I see.
Was
it someone that advised you to move to Limpopo? Was it someone's encouragement, or was there better contract or better pastures?
I think that season when the structure was changing, I was going to sit home without a contract.
Okay.
And every time I get to this point, I actually don't want to talk about what happened, but
yes,
there's something that pushed me, but I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
It's going to sound bad.
Yeah.
But people that let me down at that time.
Okay. So does that mean in Limpopo they were willing to open doors for you, or they were welcoming you with open hands? Because you grew up in Eastern Cape, predominantly Xhosa speaking, to then go all the way to Limpopo. That's a different environment altogether, where the people in Limpopo are saying, we need you, come here, there's going to be better opportunities, but then there's a language barrier as well. There is a different culture setup and all that. Were you considering all those before you say you're going to move all the way across to go to Limpopo?
I think what pushed me and influenced me to actually go there, it was my missus. My missus was pregnant at that time when I lost the contract.
Okay.
And at that period, it was all about my unborn child. I was like, how am I gonna provide for them if I'm sitting at home without a contract?
Yeah, yeah.
And I got a call from LIMS. At that time, it was the only offer that I had. And I was like, you know what? Let me pack my bags and go. Because it's not about me anymore. It's about that unborn child that's
There's a
coming.
child coming up, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like, you know what? Let me pack my bags. I left. I never thought about language barrier and all those things. I was like, I'll see it when I get there.
Wow, wow.
As long as I'm getting paid, as long as I'm playing cricket, that's
what's
fine.
important. That's what's important.
Yeah.
We go to Limpopo. I don't care of the language barrier as long as I'm playing cricket, and two, I'm earning something. That speaks to me around maturity, understanding your game, understanding who you are as a person, understanding what you want to achieve with your game. Because when you've got a kid that is coming, it's no longer about you. So whatever decision that you're making has nothing to do with you, but everything to do with the madam or the child at the time. You then decide, let me go. But obviously, with such a decision, there's always going to be a challenge. What challenges, or how did you guys then overcome the fact that there's now distance between you and the madam, and she's pregnant at the time and you're far from her?
Yeah. Actually, when I got there, I realized, hey, the decision that I took, it's actually tough.
Yeah.
Because we were very close, and now I'm leaving her while she's heavy, and it was a bit difficult to actually take it, but I told her, this is actually not about me. It's about you and the child. This is what I had to do, because imagine if I didn't take the offer and just sit there next to you guys. Probably, if I did that, probably wouldn't be dating today.
Yeah.
Because almost becoming a nuisance when you don't have anything.
And there's no money coming in, so you end up fighting over nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. And the distance, very, very far. So it wasn't easy to actually say to them, you guys can come over this weekend when I get breaks. Yeah, so that was very, very tough.
Yeah.
But then they did manage to actually, because I saved a bit of money to fly them in that side to actually see where I'm staying. And it wasn't that difficult though. Yes, I did have challenges where I was all alone, didn't knew anyone, but then I met a guy from Joburg, Lifa Taba. He was the assistant coach at that time. And my coach was Dumi Makalima.
Okay. Okay.
He was a closer guy, so at least there was someone that I could speak closer with.
Also, it was easier in that regard, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but outside cricket, I always had Lifa. Lifa could speak Zulu, so he was always there for me. During weekends, he would actually come to my place, take me out, go chill, just to feel I've got people around me, people that look after me. So I never felt it that much, but it was tough when it comes to when you're alone, you're missing your family, and the only thing you can do is just call or video call them.
Yeah.
But then when it's tough times, you want to have them around, just pour out your heart.
Yeah.
So it was just that.
Yeah. You're playing first class cricket. Yes, you're in Limpopo. Things happened, and you said you don't want to speak about them, and we're not gonna get into them. My question to you is, how then do you bounce back from the game of cricket? Is funny in the sense that you don't win all the time. Like there's more losses than wins. There's more failures than successes. How have you learned to bounce back from a first-class point of view or from a youngster's point of view to bounce back from a bad ordeal, from bad form mentally? Where do you place yourself? Because it's one thing to have a coach that's going to say, you know what, you've got this. So you know that I've got the backing of my team, even though I'm not performing, but I know that they know that I can. On a good day, they know that things are going to come out. But for yourself, it's difficult for you to believe that I'm still good enough at this level. I'm still good enough to perform like I used to perform before. How do you get that balance, mentally speaking, to bring yourself back into when things are rosy? Because things are not always rosy in the game of cricket. Not if we will be lying if we say you're always going to be performing. You score hundreds left, right, and center. You get 5 as left, right, and center. How do you bring yourself back from that dump or from that pit to come back into your game or into your performance at your peak?
I think I'll talk in cricket, like as a cricketer, whenever you go through the rough patch, obviously you need a coach that will believe in you first. And during that time, to be honest with you, when I went to LIMS, when I grew up, Limpopo was one of those provinces where they shouldn't be playing provincial cricket. They just waste of time. It's actually not a good province to be in terms of sport. They're just behind. So when I arrived there, I had thought of, this is probably my last season. This is probably me done. I'm down on the ground. But then I always had this at the back of my mind that I need to provide for my children.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I make my Kasi proud. I need to make sure that I make my family proud, because during that time, during my ups and downs, they were always there. They always believed in me. My missus always believed in me. I always believed in me. So, as I said to you earlier on, as a sportsman, a cricketer, when you're around that environment, you need a coach that will believe in you, backs you. So luckily, I got that from Dumi.
Wow.
I think Dumi played a big role in actually for me to be here. And I want to give the credit to him and the assistant coach, Lee Fataba. I remember my first outing, we had a net practice. They were asking themselves questions. How did you get here?
Yeah. In a good way or in a mockery kind of way?
No, in a good way, like praising that you're not supposed to be here.
You're too good to be here.
Yeah. So I started laughing. I was like, nah, man, coach, it's God's plan. There's a reason I'm here. There's a reason I'm here. And Bumi just said to me after that net session, can you look around in South Africa, the black African bowlers that we have, and tell me who's better than you?
Yeah.
Obviously, when you look around, you laugh and be like, there's a likes of Lungi, KG Rabada,
yeah.
Makala from the Lions. You'd be like, nah, man, I can't be putting myself out there. Those guys are too good. To be like, nah.
That's just you self-doubting.
And then he said, I don't want to hear that again. Put that away. You're good enough to be where they are, but it's up to you if you want to get there.
Jeez, that
And then
but that gives that puts a lot of pressure. Yes, someone is believing in you, great, but then you're like, am I really that good? It's tough to believe. Yeah, they say it's tough to believe how good you are, but if someone says you're a crap person, it's easy to just say, yeah, you're right, I'm crap. But when it comes to believing that which is positive, I can imagine where you were hearing such big words from someone, and you yourself are not even seeing yourself in that regard, and someone looks at you and goes, look at the people around you, you are good as they are.
And I think also that gave me a booster in a way that this guy, he actually played cricket also in a higher level.
So he knows what he's talking
Franchise,
about.
he knows, and he also worked with the Lions cricket. So, like for him to actually say that, it means a lot to me.
Wow.
Because he was in the Lions setup. So that's where that hunger, that belief came back again. And I just told myself, you know what, just give it another try. And I remember I got a DM on my Instagram from Eddie Moore.
Nice.
Eddie Moore was like, I can't believe you in LIMS.
Jeez.
That's how our system is. But all I can tell you is that you're good enough to actually get out of that place. I believe in you. I know what you can do. Don't look down on yourself.
Wow.
When you get the ball in your hand and you play, just make sure there's people out there that are looking.
Wow.
Keep going, man.
Wow. It's humbling when you hear so many people say that, and you're thinking, at some point you were thinking, I think this is the end of my career. Then you've got someone that is telling you that no, but you are way better than that. It gives you a boost as well. Instead of you believing that you are done, you know that, okay, this is just a matter of time. And like you said, it's God's plan for you to be there, and he's going to elevate you, and he did. So amazing stuff from that regard.
I think yeah, it was. I was sent there as an angel to actually go touch lives, and there's a lot of guys that I actually touched, and there's a lot of guys that never played franchise cricket there. So for them, it was something big to actually have someone that has been there, being around the likes of Makala, John Smarts, guys that play for South Africa.
Yeah.
So it was. I think I made a big impact being there. So that actually touched me, and it actually pushed me to actually perform each and every game that I play, so that they see that this guy is actually good enough not to be here.
Wow. And yet he's putting in 100% in what he's doing when he's here. So that pushes them as well to do more, because it's not like, oh, wow, we are screwed. So it doesn't really matter whether we play with our powers or whatever. Whether we win or lose, it really doesn't matter. It gives them that sense of, I want to be as good, or I want to put in 100% in my work ethic and the way I practice. What challenges have you faced in first-class cricket in South Africa?
Yeah, I think like in cricket overall, like where I'm based.
Cricket overall, like your journey, your cricketing career.
I think challenges that I face in first class is you obviously get guys where they'll chap you, especially if you're black. They'll chap you, tell you that you're not good enough to actually to be you're not supposed to. Like you get those kind of chappings, and you start doubting yourself again, and you keep asking yourself, am I really good enough actually to be here?
Cheers.
Because everywhere I go and play, guys will chirp you and be like, you're not supposed to be bowling to me.
That's crazy.
So, and then I think that's what made me to be a better bowler or a good bowler, because I always, when I rocked up in the field and played, I want to prove a point to them that I will knock you over. I deserve to be here. So I think that's a challenge where every time I walk into the field, I never felt comfortable. I always felt under pressure, of which that's good. But then you also want to be free
Yeah.
and play good cricket
Yeah.
in a good mind, where you be like, okay, I'm myself, I'm enjoying the game. But then one thing that's always at the back of my mind is there's people out there that don't believe you.
Insane.
There's people out there that saying you're not good enough to be here. So what are you going to do?
Jeez.
Okay, it's time for me to run in and show them that I deserve to be here.
Yeah.
If they think that they're good enough and they're better than me, they're supposed to be playing for the pro team.
We'll see.
Not to be here.
Or we'll see. Are you gonna score 100 at the end of this day? Then you say you're good
Exactly.
enough. Yeah, yeah. But then it takes a great deal of mental strength to be able to get into that sort of frame of mind. Who would you give credit to for giving you such strength in your mental game?
I think it's my mom. I'll give it to my mom. I'll give it to my mom because she always reminds me the ups and downs that I have when I was growing up, what I went through throughout my cricketing career. And she always reminds me that wherever you are, there will be people that will never believe in you, but you gotta show them that you're good enough to be where you are. And also she will be like, whenever you feel at your lowest, remember why you started playing the game.
Wow.
What's the reason for you to want to play the game?
Wow.
Is it for you?
That's deep.
Yeah, is it for you? Is it for the people here in Kasi? Is it for your child? But one thing that she said, always emphasize on is, you've got a little one now. You need to look after.
Wow.
So whenever you get those negative thoughts of you're not good enough, you want to quit.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Think of that. Think of that.
Yeah.
Steh, you've been amazing. But 2 questions before I let you go. First one is, what advice would you give someone that is playing club cricket at this point in time? Or what advice would you give to a youngster that is playing school cricket, high school, primary school, age group cricket, whatever the case may be? What advice would you give them when they make it to where you are in your career?
I think it's clear and simple. Believe in your craft. Never let the people around you to dictate or to decide or to tell you that you're not good enough. Just always believe in yourself and tell yourself that one day I will make it if I put ground on my work. Wow. I think for me it was all about people's opinions don't matter to me. Who are you to judge me? And you should have something at the back of your mind that will always keep you going, will always remind you why you're doing this.
Wow, amazing.
So I think that's about it. You must have something that will be at the back of your mind, even when people trying to push you down and be like, if I stop, then my mom dies. But if I carry on, then my mom leaves, like something like that.
Yeah.
So you gotta have something that will push you like that.
Oh, amazing.
So I think that's what I have. I want to make my family proud, doing it for my daughters. So that's what I have.
Wow.
Always
And
believe in yourself. Believe that you're good enough.
awesome stuff. And the last one is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Actually, I don't set goals like that, to be honest with you, for man.
Okay.
I always take it one day at a time, season at a time, because it can actually take you 2 games, 3 games, then boom, changes like that. So for me, I always believe that every day is an opportunity to change your life in cricket. So I feel like whenever I get a chance to play, it's that time for me to actually be the person that I want to be. Obviously, growing up, you want to play for Proteas. So I always say, me, if I play every day, I feel like I'm going to get a call up to the Proteas. That's what drives me.
Wow.
So if say in 5 years' time, my career might end by tomorrow, might end in 2 years' time, might end in, never know. So I always say, just use the opportunity that you have. Anything can happen, anything is possible. But then to answer your question, in 5 years' time, I'll be 34. That's probably will be the end of my career at that time.
Says who, but nah, there's no such thing. Do you see the guys that are coming from the over 40s World Cup? I had we had Peter Boysons that came through last week, and he left me with this shirt that is written Boysons. So what we said we're going to do in the studio is every guest that we've had, they're going to bring their shirts. Then we put them in a frame at the back of me here. So there is no such thing as you're going to be 34 and your career is going to be finished. It's never going to be finished, mate.
It's just the number that I believe that probably by that time I'll be done.
You think? Nah, I don't believe so. Anyway, mate, it's been amazing chatting to you and hearing your story. And we just want to wish you all the best. You guys at Knights, you're fighting to come back into Division 1. And I know the structures are in place and you guys are doing such a good work there. I know one of my mates is with you guys there, Dikhale Saki. And yeah, always seeing you guys and what you guys are trying to achieve and what you're doing as a team, as a unit. And we just want to wish you all the best with your future endeavors. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kurman. I receive, and thank you very much for having me in your podcast.
Awesome stuff. We'll speak soon and take care of yourself. Yeah.
Thank you, Kurman.
Cheers, my mate. And there we have it. Sthembile Langa was here, and I'm pretty sure that you got relevance from what we spoke about. And I'm just so impressed and so determined and so wanting to push more and inspired to make sure that I become a better person as I improve my skills of podcasting and as you also improve your skills of club cricket. Liking, sharing, and subscribing is going to help us, so please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Until we meet again next Thursday, please stay safe, keep believing, and God loves you. Cheers for now.